Hello, greetings to you. You're welcome to Touch Billion TV. Today we're going to be talking about BTC charts and the possible entries we're looking out for. So as we can see very clearly on the charts here, this was our previous key level point that was actually anticipated here. As you can see, this point was a point we once held, right, anticipated for. And if you see here, the market actually came to this zone here. This is on the 1 hour time frame. The market actually came to this zone here and reacted at this zone, right, and came down to this point. So those who actually held on to or took this trade would have made some good amount of profit before the market reversed. Already you can see clearly that this is an uptrend, right? So we can see clearly that this is an uptrend. So in as much as you're looking out for a sell, you should not stay long on that sell. Now also we anticipated the market coming to this zone, which it tapped here once, right? We anticipated the market coming to the zone and going up. It came down very close to the zone, but did not actually go up. Did not actually tap on this zone, but went all the way up, right? So the market, which is Bitcoin, has actually saw tremendous increase in price, visiting all-time. Let's go to the higher time frame to see very clearly, getting very close to the all-time high. Right, the all-time high is this zone here. This is the all-time high. Yeah. So around this zone here, this is all-time high, right? So 123,261 thereabouts. So we are seeing the markets headed strictly massively to this previous high. Now, of course, there's one thing that is very sure here. If this market gets to this point, we're actually going to see a reversal in the market, because this point can act as a point of resistance, right? So we're actually going to see a reversal in the market, right? So if we go to the 4 hours time frame, right, this point has been invalidated, so we're actually just going to take it out, right? This point as well, the market is still actually going to visit these zones, but not anytime soon. So we're just going to take this all out and look at possible, what are we looking at in terms of what is very possible, something close. So we'll maintain the 4 hours time frame here to just draw an overall break of structure, right, which is something incredibly massive that the market has done, right? Massive. So if you're holding Bitcoin, kudos to you. You should be smiling right now. And also if you're holding Ethereum as well, you should be smiling as well. You understand? So you should be smiling as well. So this is actually a clear break of structure. So what are the zones we're looking at for here? So first of all, massive movement in the market has created a major imbalance in the market, right? So we're actually just going to be pinpointing these zones here. We're actually going to be pinpointing these zones here to see a possible tendency of what the market can do, right? So we can see here that the market failed to break this previous high. At this point here, the market failed to break this previous high. Let me pinpoint this with an arrow. The market failed to break this previous high. So that is also something that can also be. Then we saw the market going down a little bit, right? You can see here the market went down a little bit here, right? The market went down a little bit here. So there are key levels that we're actually going to be seeing here. This candle is actually a 1 hour candle. We look at a 45 minutes candle, still very much on that. Let's look at a 30 minutes candle, still very much on this. So we have like 7 minutes more before this 30 minutes candle would close. Let's look at the 15 minutes candle. Okay, so a 30 minutes candle would actually give us exactly what we're looking for. We can see here that this market here, this candle here has broken structure, but we can't really tell what exactly it wants to do. So, but then there's what I'm looking out here for here. If this market closes in the next in the next 6 minutes. One thing you need to understand about trading, a lot of people are just so moved by, especially when you're holding a particular currency, a lot of people are just so moved by the market going up, right? And don't understand that this market will have to balance at some levels, right? This market will have to balance at some levels. It is a normal thing for the market to do that. The market would have to balance at some levels. It is a normal thing for the market to do that. So you don't necessarily need to panic or whatsoever. Like, oh, why is this market not following this direction? Like for example, we're seeing that this market can come to this previous high. So a lot of people are anticipating that the market will come to this previous high. And most of these people that actually control this market, or who are the movers and shakers of this market, know this, that you are looking forward for this market to get there. It won't get there, right? This massive buy would attract a lot of people coming to milk out from the market, but it's most times won't be like that. You also have to look at, the candlesticks, right, and see what the candlesticks are doing. And it's very clear at this point there, we can see a doji candle, right? We can see a doji candle there creating some level of indecision in the market, meaning that the buyers and sellers are not really that strong. Yeah, yeah, this doji candle here, right? So that is something to pay attention to, right? So if we look at the 12 hours time frame, what kind of candle do we see here? We can see incredible, yes, a bearish pin bar candle, you understand, and very clearly on the 4 hours time frame, a bearish pin bar candle, you understand. So it is just so unique to see that. So what am I looking at here? On the 30 minutes time frame, right? We're actually going to see a possibility of this market, right? If the candle closes, we can see a clear indication of a little imbalance in the market, and the market can just go up from this zone here, tap this zone here, and start coming all the way down, right, to come to this zone, right? This is a possibility, right? This is a very, very huge possibility in the market, right? And of course, if we keep it very clear on the lower time frame here, let's go to the 12 hours time frame. Let's keep it on the 4 hours time frame. It's more clear on that. So if the market does that, then we're actually going to be seeing this market coming to this zone, picking this zone, and just going back up to take out that high, right? To take out that high. So this is also something we can see very clearly here, right? This is also something we can see very clearly here, right? So two tendencies of what the market can do. Two tendencies of what the market can do. This is the other tendency here of what the market can do here, right? This is also tendency of what the market can do. Market coming down, right, to this zone, right? So these are two tendencies of what the markets can do, right? So looking at this, we can have clear understanding of what the markets can do on Bitcoin, right? So kudos also to those who have been holding Bitcoin. She was smiling. So if you got value watching this, do well to subscribe to the channel. Click on the subscribe button, turn on notification, comment if you have a question or contribution, and know that we're here to help you win.